All right, good to see you once again. I'm happy to be with you this day. And following the last radio program, I have come to talk about factors that can easily make or mar relationships. And I've listed out a 9-point factors that you can for sure know that these factors, these things, can mar your relationship. And when I say mar your relationship, I mean can destroy your relationship, can damage your relationship, can make it less romantic or less fun or unfulfilling. All right, and then we have the 5 C's that have termed the 5 C's that can make beautiful your relationship, that can grow your love life and make it fun. All right, let's start with the 9 points that can actually destroy your relationship. And the first on the list is laziness. You know, laziness has to do with a lot of stuff, apart from just being lazy at home. You can bring that laziness you have in your workplace or at home into your relationship without knowing it. And this is where procrastination comes into place. When you begin to procrastinate and plan things you're supposed to do right now, you plan to do it next tomorrow or next week or your next birthday. I will do this. The next time we go out, I will make sure that you're happy. The next time, when you begin to procrastinate for things that are basics that should happen right now to count for you, to grease your relationship, you find that you will have a showdown in your relationship. And laziness can also mean being lazy to even appear attractive, being lazy to do some little change that your partner may be asking for. If that change that your partner requests is important or is true, or that change is necessary, it's important that you should not be lazy about changing them, about working on yourself. It's always important that you kill laziness when it comes to a relationship, because it's the number one way that relationship can get damaged without you even knowing it. All right, and second one is lying. You know, you have some kind of people that lie every day. They live by lying. Everything they do is lied. They have even forgotten the real way to live, because when they see their name, there's something like they're lying about it. Their status is a lie, their bank account is a lie, their work is a lie, their career is a lie, their parents' background is a lie. Everything about them is lie. In fact, when they say, wait for me at the junction, you better run, because these people are not about truth. They just think that they need that lie to impress you. But you know, the truth is that in the end of it all, lying destroys even nations. Lying destroys people. So lying can easily destroy a relationship. What happens when you pose to be someone you're not, and then the relationship blossoms and becomes very romantic and intimate, and the person is planning to marry you? What becomes of the relationship where all what you fed a person is a lie? You know, some people, like you see in the movies, some people try to hide their identity and pose like a rich or a poor guy, and whereas the person is a rich prince and stuff like that. Well, it always works because the person is a rich prince, and in most cases the movie tells you that the woman in question or the man in question can turn down the whole idea of you lying of who you are, because some people might not want you to be very rich or very famous. They want somebody who has a quiet background. I saw a show where the man says, I don't want to date a woman like me, because he's a celebrity, he was famous, so he thinks that his life is full of drama already, so he doesn't want to marry or be with a woman that is like him. But guess what? A lot of women will be like, want to be like him, want him to date them, and they'll even go about lying about who they are just to get his attention. But in real sense, he is saying he doesn't want a woman that have my kind of life. So it means that the women around him who may want to prove to him that they have his kind of life, they are famous, they are classy, they are rich, they are exposed, may end up having a breakfast served. And when I say breakfast, I mean may end up having a break in the relationship, because when the guy realizes that you are as famous as he is, or you are also having many drama in your life, because the truth is that being famous comes with a lot of drama, a lot of responsibility, and events. So many people try to hide away from these things. That's why sometimes when you see two celebrities married, it doesn't really last. They can pull as much as they can, but sometimes they end up breaking out because it's clashing. Your star is conflicting with my star. So it looks like they are competing, and competition is very bad for a relationship. And the next one we have to look at is this: bad social graces. Many people have what I call bad social graces, and when I talk about bad social graces, I mean they have poor habits, they have poor charisma, poor courage, poor behavior, public behavior. They have poor etiquette. They don't know how to eat in public, they don't know how to talk in public, they don't know how to carry themselves in public. They're either overdoing things or not measuring up. And when you don't measure up, your partner tend to feel less confident about you. And then when you're overdoing things, the partner also tends to feel like you're going to put them in trouble. So it's always important that you have good social graces. If you're taken to a palace, you better behave like a queen, or at least something similar, not just like a commoner from the slavery era. And if taken to a commoners place, don't come and act like, oh, I'm all classy, this is not my class of people. You better bring yourself and act like a Roman when you're in Rome. You see, it's very important that you know how to act where people are. You know how to carry yourself at every occasion, and you know where the limit is. You know where to draw the lines. Don't overstep your boundaries. All right. So it's very important that you watch your social graces, and don't also live on social media. They're all part of the social graces. Don't dine, wine, sleep, wake up, take your bath on social media. Some people tell the story of their life on social media, the way they wake up, the way they eat, where they are at the moment, where they're going to be the next moment. Even those that want to make that a career or a show have issues. So if you're just a normal person, don't try to be like them. Don't try to impose something that would bring discomfort to you and your partner, to yourself, by your hands, by trying to be somebody you're not. All right, let's see the next point. And the next point I have is being covetous. When I say covetous, we all know that the Bible is against being covetous. And in simple terms, what does it mean to be covetous? It's to want to live above your means. It's to want to have something that you don't own. To try to take somebody's thing. To try to prove that you can get whatever you need, to try to take things by all means. Try to live above your means. There are many people in the society today, most young men and women, who are living above their means just because they want to prove a point. You see, they go into social media, find something on Facebook and think this is the normal day or everyday life, and they begin to want that kind of life. That is covetousness. That's living above your means. And it's very sad. It's very poor. And it brings distortion or breakdown in the relationship. And the next one I have is nagging. Nagging is comforting someone when you're talking to someone. You see, people just seem, but some people, when they are wrong, don't want you to talk to them about it. So they see it as confrontation, and that would mean that they will see you as somebody who is nagging. It could be a man or it could be a woman. Men too nag. These are men don't seem to know that men nag. Some men can nag. Where are you? What are you up to? Who is that? Who called you? Where have you been? Why is laughing? Why is it making you laugh? Those things are part of being nagging. Whereas women too, they can nag about everything. I asked for this, you didn't give it to me. I want this, I can't get it. They nag about things that you should be subtly be asking for. So make sure that you don't confront your partner. You don't nag about everything. You don't nag about things you want to be changed. You don't nag about things that you need. You don't nag about your partner's show of affection or happiness. When you want to ask for something, ask nicely and find out the right time to ask. There are some times I tell people there may not be a better time to ask. So ask while you're eating, ask while you're in bed, but make sure that you sense your partner's emotion, their frame of mind while you're asking. Don't ask someone who is depressed or who is fighting, trying to keep a job about money and things like that that can make them further aggressive or lose it out with you, right? So it's very important that you know what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. All right, so the next point we have on the agenda of the 9 points is clinginess. What does it mean to cling to somebody? To cling, you want to be the person's monitoring spirit. You want to be the person's bodyguard. You want to be the person's handbag. Sometimes it's fun that your partner wants to be with you everywhere, but sometimes it becomes so clingy. It makes you like want to suffocate. It makes you lose yourself time. All right. So wherever you're dating somebody, whoever the person may be, no matter how much the love you feel loving so much, I want to be there with him, or I love her so much, I want to be there with her. Make sure you're not becoming clingy. Make sure that it's convenient. Make sure that you give the person sometimes breathing space, and you don't have to become a monitoring spirit or a bodyguard or a handbag when the person wants to appear casual. All right, so make sure that you give the person some breathing space. And the next one, which I like to say because we do it without knowing it, is pride. There are times when you should complain about stuff. It's not about being proud. It's just about having a sense of self-respect. All right, but there's a very thin line between self-respect and pride. A very thin line. When this self-respect crosses that line, your ego is becoming a problem, and that's where pride comes in. That's where being proud of yourself becomes a problem, because you become too big to be sorry. You become too big to even understand that you erred. You see, I've counseled a lot of people, and I realize some people don't even know they're living wrong way, and they can be bold to say, well, if this makes me happy, I'm not sorry about it. When you are saying you're not sorry about this because it makes you happy, that means you're prepared to be alone. I was talking to somebody last time, and the person was saying, oh, well, I am happy about doing this. If flirting makes me happy, that's the right word, that's the actual word. If flirting with people makes me happy, I'm not going to stop it. And the person wants his girlfriend to be there. How? You have to consider somebody else. You have to consider your partner whenever that kind of thing matters. You have to consider you're not alone anymore. Whatever you're doing in a relationship, you must put in place and at heart the fact that you're not alone in that relationship, and the person's opinion, emotions, and needs matters. So you don't just go feeling proud and just doing whatever you like. And this word goes mostly to the men. And now the second to the last one is competition. As I was saying before about bringing competition, what was that point again? I mentioned something before, and I said that can lead to competition. So many people also compete with their partners without knowing it. So a lady is married to a man who is working, and she's also working. So she wants to be promoted before her husband. Or working in ministries, let's say for example, I'm working in the Ministry of Finance, he's working in the Ministry of Sports. I want to get to level 14 before my husband gets to level 14. It becomes a competition. You try to maneuver your ways. That will bring damage to your relationship. Or let's say you're bankers, they want to beat the target before your husband can get to the target. So it brings competition into your life. Or you're a business person, your husband is an employee, and you make more money or something, somehow competition enters. And whenever competition enters anything, it becomes dangerous. Competition is good when you're competing with yourself or with someone who does not even know you're there. But for someone who is close to you, you wouldn't know when you become dangerous to that person, because competition can lead to envy, and envy is very dangerous to life. All right, and the last one we'll have is loquaciousness. When I mean loquaciousness, I mean having a leaking mouth. I do not mean being able to speak fluent English or being able to interpret your language very clear or pass information. Having a leaking mouth. Loquaciousness is when you talk too much. You want to talk about one thing, you say it in 10 hours. You're overshadowing the person from talking. You're talking alone, just always wanting to talk. Talking everywhere, not even knowing the right thing to talk about. It's very bad. So make sure you watch your tongue. I will leave the next video on what makes relationship beautiful in my next video. Don't go away. If you're following this page, please subscribe or follow the page, like it for the next video for the 5 C's. Shalom, and see you in my next video.